Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so we're back here on Sunday night and we've got an RTX 4080 build with a Ryzen 9 7900 non-X CPU. So if you're hoping to check out the non-X 7900, tonight's video is definitely one for you. So we'll go through the specs and we'll get stuck right into it. We've got a 1TB SSD there. We've got a 32GB kit of obviously DDR5 because it's the only sort of memory you can put with a Ryzen 7000 series chip. We've got our 12-core 24-thread Ryzen 9 7900. We've got a Gigabyte B650 Gaming XAX motherboard. We've got our aforementioned RTX 4080. It's a PNY Accelerate series. We've got a 850 watt ATX3 power supply. And we've got an LS520 cooler and a Silverstone Farah 511 case. So pretty good little build here tonight. I'm pretty keen to see how it goes.
I want to go to bed, so hurry up.
Christine wants to go to bed. She says she was telling me to hurry up. Alright, I guess I can do that. Hey Richard, how you going? Good to have you with us. Wow, that's a heavy motherboard. Hey George, how you going? Good to have you with us. That is a heavy motherboard. Yeah. Like, bloody hell, feel that.
Oh shit. It's all in that.
Yeah, it's heavy as.
Yeah. Bloody hell. For a little board, it's heavy.
Yeah, it is.
What am I doing?
2x copper PCB by the looks of things. Alrighty, let's have a look and see what we get with this motherboard. So, we've got our 8-pin CPU power. Very, very nice heat sinks on our MOSFET VRM co-processors. We've got our LGA style AMD socket, so our new AM5 socket here. CPU fan, we've got 4 slots for memory. Our motherboard power, fan headers 2, 3, USB-C, some SATA ports horizontally orientated and a USB 3 horizontally orientated, nice to see. Down the bottom we've got another fan header, we've got a couple of RGB headers, a 5 volt and a 12 volt. It's like dual M2 slots, you've got a little PCIe X1 if you need it. Around the back here we've got our Wi-Fi Bluetooth, we've got a total of 8 USB ports, 4 Type 2s and 4 Type 3s including a USB-C, and the Type 3s are 3.2, 2.5 gigabit LAN. So all in all, a pretty good little motherboard here. So this is the Gigabyte B650M Gaming XAX. Yeah. Hey Darren, how you going? Good to have you with us. Alrighty. Alrighty. So we get like, what's in here? Is this like a Wraith Prism cooler? That's exactly what it is. So we don't actually need that because we've got a better cooling solution for it. But if you wanted to buy this and you didn't want to buy a cooler, you get a cooler. So happy days. Alrighty, so here's our Ryzen 9 CPU. So this is the new AMD AM5 socket right here. So these are pretty much exactly like an Intel chip. So the pins are actually in the socket. We've just got touch pads on the bottom of our CPU here. And you just line up the little notch in the side of the CPU with the socket, put it down, clip the arm in place, and you have installed your AM5 CPU. That's exactly it. Alrighty, so we've got our memory now. So we're using slots 2 and 4 here. Got 4 slots and 2 channels. So you definitely want them to be one slot apart. That's not because of cooling or anything like that. It's because of the fact that the slots that are right next to each other, the two lots, they are on the same channel, and basically you get a performance increase by having one stick in each channel, and that means you have a slot in between. Yeah. Oh, he's so silly.
You can't get it. You're so silly. Look, it's gone now. Now you've got yourself in a predicament, don't you? Come here.
Okay.
Jamie says right there.
Hey Jamie, how you going? Good to have you with us. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. So, it's time to do our cooler. Yeah. All over the world. We can, by shipping PCs internationally, like overseas as such. Yeah, that can be fairly expensive, or it'll take a very long time. So that is the downside. I'm based in Australia. Yeah, it's not too bad to New Zealand. So if you're from New Zealand, we can definitely do that. Okay. All right. So we need our AMD brackets here. Okay. So these AMD arms here that we're putting on, they're symmetrical, so you can put the cooler whatever way you want. And just be very careful with the thermal compound that's on the bottom of it. My finger got the corner of that then. It's all good, it's not that bad, but so we have to take the standard mounting kit off the motherboard, and then we've got some new bolts to go in the stock backplate, and we can do our cooler. So it's definitely these ones. Yeah. Oh, I'd have to look into that one for you. Whereabouts in the US? Obviously, California is going to be cheaper than New York. But the best way, because like I'm not going to be able to give you prices while I'm live. I just don't know them off the top of my head. So, best way to find out is to send me a message on Facebook. Send me a message on Facebook and I can get your pricing and stuff. Yes. Yep. There's just no point in renting a physical store in this day and age. customers, you know, they don't, your average person doesn't go driving around looking for a computer shop. They just look at like, they look up online, they see who's local, they see what the reviews are like, and then they go from there. That's how it is in this day and age. And they want too much. They like, there's a big recession right now in commercial property and stuff. It's being felt more in certain suburbs of like Sydney and Melbourne and stuff that have like lots of, you know, old retail stores down Main Street and stuff like that. But until those prices sort of adjust, a lot of those properties are going to remain vacant because people run their business from home, and then that's only one rent to pay. Okay, so basically our cooler's going to sit in the case like this, and then the only thing to bear in mind is where the cables are. So I always double and triple check that. Yeah, I saw that the other day. Mm-hmm. That gave you the creeps, eh? Do I have 20 series cards? No. They haven't made 20 series cards for years. Well, like, other than 2060. And that's the thing. Like, there's no, these companies try to sell their cards as fast as possible because they don't want to have to mark them down. So they make sure they sell all their 20 series cards before they sell all their 30 series cards, and they make sure they sell all their 30 series cards before they sell all their 40 series cards, basically. So even 30 series, like 3080, 3090, 3080 Ti, 3090 Ti, they haven't made them since July last year from Nvidia. That was when they stopped making the GPUs. Any of the stock that's still floating around now, that's simply because the companies had bought these GPUs from Nvidia, and they were sitting on a bit of a reserve of them. Not that Nvidia are still making RTX 3080. They're only making 40 series and above GPUs new now. I think that actually that's a lie, because I think they're still doing 3060 and 3070. But I believe the 3060 Ti, 3070 and 3070 Ti are coming to an end, and they'll still produce the 3060 and 3050. Okay, so we're ready to get our motherboard in the case and get our power supply hooked up and all of that good stuff. Did I not get a? Oh no, we've got a fan and RGB controller here. I was like, did I not get a splitter cable or anything for those things? I could have sworn I was meant to. Alright. Yeah.
DDR6X version, assuming it's exclusive. It's a 37 mil.
A 3060 with GDR6X.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd still think that that's probably going to come up a little bit short compared to a 3070.
3070 Ti.
3070 Ti, yeah, well, even more so. Because it's not. This is what makes graphics cards hard to understand. It's not any one particular thing. It's not like it's just the VRAM that matters. Some people are like, you know, oh, I need at least this many gigabyte VRAM on my card and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, well, the 3060 has 12 gigabytes and the 3060 Ti only has 8. So 33% drop, and the 3060 Ti absolutely smokes the 3060. So you gotta, it's never just one particular stat. And I'd be a little bit concerned that the 3060 GPU, so that's the GA106, just isn't as strong as the GA104 in the 3060 Ti, 3070 and 3070 Ti. And regardless of what memory you pair with it, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. It'll make a bit of a difference. Having some faster memory never goes astray as such. Alrighty, we get a nice little carry bag here with our power supply. And so these ATX 3 power supplies, at the moment they all have 10-year warranties, so they're really, really good quality. So if you do buy one now, even though they're a little bit more expensive than the regular ones, you will be getting a really good quality unit that you'll most probably be able to use in your next build as well. Alrighty, so here it is. What's that? Is what?
Does VRAM matter?
Yeah, of course it does. But the thing is, it is just one thing. It's not no particular stat, like even the clock speed and stuff like that. There's no one particular stat that is your secret, like the main thing that dictates the performance of it. There's a lot of different things that go into graphics cards. You can't have. That's why if you look at reviews on graphics cards, you'll see a whole heap of different metrics up there. And while it might be a little bit confusing and stuff, yeah, that's definitely what you want to wrap your head around if you truly want to get your head around like graphics card performance and stuff. Because it's like it's not a simple topic. I can't give you a couple of like metaphors and analogies here that'll explain it nice and easily. Hey John, how you going? Good to have you with us. Alrighty, and here's our 16-pin cable. So this is the new one that we get with our RTX 3 power supplies. And so this is a direct connection for our 40 series graphics cards without the adapter cable. And so one thing to be aware of is these cables here, you can get them in different wattages. And so this one here can deliver 450 watts just on this one output there. You can get them up to 600 watts on the one cable, right? But you got different cables that put out different wattages, so just be careful of that. But it's obviously it's going to come what the maximum wattage that this cable will be designed for depends on the wattage of your power supply. So you won't get the maximum unless you buy a really big power supply.
Check this out. Somebody's XPG cables.
Oh no!
No, they did that on purpose. They cut it.
Yeah, yeah. I said, oh no. You better show people that. That's fucking ridiculous. So over on Facebook, do you post it on Facebook? Well, I think you can't post it on YouTube, can you? All right, there's a link to Facebook on the YouTube live feed right now. Just go have a look at this. This is what stupidity actually looks like, okay? And paranoia, I should say. Paranoia and stupidity. He's got Lian Li Strimmer V2 cable for his graphics card, and he's worried that it was pressed up against the glass panel or plastic panel on the side of his computer. So he decides to get the grinder out and cut out a hole so the RGB cables can protrude slightly outside of the glass. Because obviously if he just, closed the panel up and those cables got pressed back just a little bit, that would be a big problem. The thing would probably explode, right? No, but that's what he's done. So he actually cut out part of the glass or the plastic on the side of his case for it. That is what stupidity looks like right there. Yeah, oh my god. Dude, no. Why didn't you like consult someone? Why didn't you consult your friend? Like, I don't want to assume everyone has a friend who's like an electrician or something like that, but doesn't everyone have like, one friend who does, IT, or, someone who understands about cables and stuff like that? Because, I mean, the bit of the cable that's sticking through isn't actually the power cable, it's just the RGB light strip that he's cut out and made room for. So he's made his rig actually look worse for no reason at all, which is a bit of a shame. Now, I'm all for a little bit of hard modding, okay? All for it. But Tonight's what?
2 nights in a row. Have to be a record.
Have to be a record?
It's being smart. He says, that's nothing, mate. A mate of mine got the wrong graphics card, got the tin snips out and cut the ass out of his case to make the card fit.
Oh, God. Dude. These are not the right solutions. It's like someone goes to try to build a house and they struggle through and somehow manage to get it all assembled. And then they go and meet a guy who owns a building and construction company. And then he shows them like some of the ways that they actually build houses and actually do the work. And he realizes, holy shit, every step of the way there was like a simple solution to doing the job. And I fucked around for years trying to put this house together. Okay. Alrighty. So we got our cables for our power supply plugged in. I'm gonna chuck up this cable here for the CPU power. Oh, hang on. Almost forgot something. We need a couple of extra offsets. Yeah. There's not so much between what?
US and Australian dollar.
No, you'll probably get a good deal. The problem is, this is what I say to people in America, right? Like, you guys have really low sales tax compared to like other parts of the West. So, depends. I know it depends on what state you're in and stuff like that. But it's a case of you know, in places like Australia, we've got a 10%. We've got a 10% sales tax on like all stuff, everything that gets bought and sold. And New Zealand, for example, they got a 15% tax on everything. And the thing is, yeah, that can weigh into like the part prices and stuff like that. So it might not be quite as economical as getting it done locally, and that's without even considering shipping. So
George wants to know if you've got any
super
super high-end builds coming up.
high-end builds? I don't think so. I mean, the way it's going now, I think we're heading for a recession. So, while that won't completely stop people buying PCs and needing their PCs fixed, it might mean that some of the biggest spenders might hold off for a little bit because they've lost a heap of money in the stock market, etc. So we just sort of have to wait and see. I think a lot of people are very cautious right now. It's all right for your average person, I think. But I think, yeah, the more high-end people, I think they're probably a little bit nervous right now. What's up?
Yes, RGB provides various boosts. Rant enhances
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. How good's that? How good's that? Yeah, we had a prime minister in Australia, and that's what he used to do. He would hide because he's such a shit job, right? Everyone hated this guy. He fucked off to Hawaii while the country was on fire, like absolute numpty. No idea about, when most politicians, right, when there's a natural disaster, they're just like, oh, look at that, a natural disaster. All I have to do is go down to the place, just help crews clean up for like 2 hours, and then everyone all around the country is going to love me. They're going to see me on TV helping out. You can't lose. It's too easy. You can totally boost your approval ratings and stuff, and the polls and stuff politically, if you do the right thing during a natural disaster. And it's not hard. There's, any politician should know how to handle that. And so he used to go around and just he'd say things in public. He'd be like, he wouldn't give you a chance to say that it's bad, because he'd be like, how good's X, and how good's this, how good's that. Oh man, it was too funny. Yes. Yes. Yep. I think this would be Chris's for tonight. What was that? Snot vomiston. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. I mean, honestly, how do you fuck that up? Like all politics aside, just on the logic and stuff of this. You're in that position. You're a leader. Natural disaster goes down. It's too much of an easy situation. You don't need any intelligence. You don't need any political experience to know what to do and know how to handle that. It should just be, completely obvious to anyone. It's like, oh, well, look, it's going on, so I need to be front and center, like I care. This is the time to put the heart into it, and then everyone will love me. It's bloody stupid. Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't think anything will happen to prices until demand starts to drop. That's the unfortunate situation. You can see videos like, well, why does Nvidia hate gamers and stuff like that? It's like, it's not about Nvidia hating gamers, you idiots. It's Nvidia's just a big company that doesn't give a fuck about anything other than profiting and maintaining their position within the market so they can also profit in the future. Yeah. In this build, so we just got a Gen 3 NVMe SSD, but one with a 5-year warranty. We've got, I think it's a Team Group, so I think that's an SK Hynix made one. We got a Thermaltake GF3 850 watt ATX 3 power supply, so we don't need the adapter cable for our 40 series card. And the RAM is just, I think it's just some 5600 CL36 RAM. It's Adata XPG. So yes, we could have, obviously there is faster RAM on the market, but the thing is, you pay a fortune for it. You pay hundreds of dollars more for it right now.
How much would a piece like this cost?
So this was around $4,000, I believe. Yeah, so it's got 7900, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, 240mm cooler, 5-year warranty, an RTX 3 power supply with a 10-year warranty. So it's got some good quality parts and stuff in it. So you'll end up paying more for parts with like the long warranties and stuff. But I always recommend to my customers to get the parts with the long warranties, because it usually doesn't cost that much extra, but when you need it, you're going to be bloody glad you have it. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Well, I mean, we had an AMD, we had a Radeon card last night, and we had the issue with the Adrenaline app not installing and stuff like that. But like I said, that's just a case of market share. Nvidia has like 80% of the market or more. They got plenty of budget to make sure GeForce Experience is good, but GeForce Experience still stuffs up, a decent amount of times. So it's not perfect. So I'm not sure how much hate Radeon really deserves for that. It might just be a case of, well, we are like a bit of a small player in the market, and from a business perspective, we can't spend endless resources on software and stuff. So I guess they probably know their place, and I'd say that they're spending an appropriate amount of money on the app, but yeah, it could be a bit frustrating. You get that, but that's something that happens in all markets. So, well, I mean, we've had some. I'm pretty sure a lot of the problems are resolved now with 7900 XTX, 7800 XTX. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be 7900, the XTX.
I don't know.
Unless there's a new card and I haven't even noticed. I don't think so. I think he meant the 7900 XTX. Yeah. Yeah, he's very fluffy, eh? Very fluffy.
Have you ever built PC
12, 100 and 6600. No, but that's like a good pairing. There's nothing wrong with the 12100. It does well for where it is in the market and what it is. The thing about it is that people freak out because they think it's going to be like their i3 that they used to have back in the day. They think it's going to be like their old i3 laptop, right? People, yeah, they think it's going to be like their old HP laptop, and that's what people get really freaked out about. Plus, 10 years ago, you sort of needed to get the the i7 for gaming, and now it's not really, yeah. The i7 and i9 are like for people who basically want to flex, or are installing flagship cards, or they're doing more than just gaming on their PC. You want to do video editing and 3D modeling and stuff like that. There's usually, usually software that will utilize the CPU more completely than gaming does. Okay. So we've got a couple of things run behind the motherboard there. We'll have a couple more as well. I'll plug in this RGB controller. We don't need any other SATA cables here for this build, at least as is. But we've got room to install two 3.5-inch hard drives and two 2.5-inch hard drives or SSDs. How much longer what? Is a
12,487.
yeah, well, as long as the games that you want to run are okay on the Intel drivers, that's the only thing. You just got to be a little bit careful because it's the first generation of Intel's graphics cards. There are some strange issues out there. I mean, I went and bought an A750 for my personal rig just to try one out because I don't like to make my customers the guinea pigs. Someone's always the first to use something, but when there's a new product, like a new company bringing out a graphics card, I don't like to go, yeah, these are all sweet. I've never used one before or anything, and I'm just going on like YouTube reviews and stuff like that. I don't like doing that to anyone. So that's why I bought one for myself to have a play around with, see how it goes, see what the drivers and tools are like that come with it, and see how it's actually running. And I've got a weird problem where I can't get it to work with my Thermaltake RGB software. The software can turn on fine when I plug a different graphics card into it that's not Intel, but it fucks up with Intel. So I have no idea what's going on there. There's nothing about it online or in Reddit. So it's one of those completely unique problems. Good times, good times. Okay, let's run RGB cable behind our motherboard here.
Oh dear.
Okay. And so now from here we just have to plug in our chain of RGB. So one connector has gone to the motherboard, and then the rest get chained in at the back here. So we'll have a bunch of 5-volt RGB cables all tied up together. What's up?
I raised these heights from my new PC.
Hey, how you going? How's the new PC going? Good? Hopefully.
Jamie wants to know, how do AMD graphics cards compare with Intel? I've heard that you can't play games like Fortnite. Is that bullshit?
Yeah, that's bullshit. You can run anything. You can run anything on any graphics card. It's not like some games just don't run at all. What you'll find though is there are various compatibility issues with, and that's for NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA's just more compatible overall. It's just because they've got the market share, they control the market. AMD is the followers. Like they follow NVIDIA's lead. Whereas when it comes to CPUs, it used to be a case of AMD followed Intel's lead, but more recently I would describe their relationship as more like trading blows with each other. One of them will release something new and it slightly one-ups the AMD model, and Intel does the same, and vice versa, and they sort of go with a pattern kind of like that. Ah, nice. Yeah, that looks fun. Okay, so that's all coming along pretty well. I'll put a few more bolts in our motherboard now, and we can go and install our graphics card. Yeah, you're detoxing, babe. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. Is it worth investing in? I mean, we were talking about this last night. So the thing about CPUs like that, okay? It might be worth your investment if you're a super enthusiast and you've got to have the best of everything all the time, and you've got like an RTX 4090 or something like that, something really high end. That would probably make a little bit more sense. But yeah, don't... The thing about CPUs, right, is a CPU is like, it's never going to give you like the sort of performance that you'd get from going from a 4080 to a 4090. It's not like, oh, I can go from 4080 to 4090, or I can put in that new fancy AMD or Intel CPU that's meant to be the best for gaming. And yeah, it's going to give you a few percent more FPS. It's not going to give you like, you know, a big jump, like a 25-30% jump in performance. It'll never do that. So just manage your expectations if you're going to buy that. I normally only suggest them to people who are looking at getting the absolute best, and they tell me specifically they want the best of the best. The problem is they run really hot, so your average person might be concerned about how hot they run. So that's one reason why you might not want one. But like I said, it really depends on you and what you want. I just don't think they've made the case that you need it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bloody hell. Oh, okay. Alright, so we get it. Oh, whatever you want. 5800X 3D is another one of those, you know, like super focused at gaming CPUs. And the thing is, the X3D, as far as raw single core performance, outperforms a lot of the Ryzen 7000 chips. Okay, so check out this triple slot monster right here. And something I'll go and show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to stand back a little bit from the camera here with this. Now, people think that the graphics cards are getting bigger. And, you know, maybe you're right. Because this is like brick size, essentially. However, if we look a little bit closer, see the board? It only goes from there to there. So about a third or more of this card is just excess for the cooler. So you can see the massive amount of cooler that's on this graphics card. It's, you know, 90% cooler. The actual card itself is pretty much just the normal size that graphics cards have always run at for, you know, the average size over the last 10 years. The board itself isn't bigger, the cooling solution is getting big. And we're at the point now where we're at like a ridiculous level of cooling being strapped to the cards. What that means is it looks like the future for these things is water cooled. Because we're at the point now where it's ridiculous. You know, there's so much weight to them. This bracket on the back is just not strong enough to support it. The simple solution is if people just start getting into more water-cooled options. And that's my prediction. If graphics cards continue to go down the same route as this, then, you know, the next series we're going to see heaps more factory water blocks on the cards, and more people will be getting custom water-cooled PCs. More and more enthusiasts will be opting for that, because it's just, you don't have to have this big chunky brick in your case anymore. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I do need a break sometimes, though.
No, only work.
Only work? Oh, man, I don't know.
What percentage of the cost of your build would you spend on the GPU for gaming?
Oh, like 50%. Yeah, 50% or more of the cost of your PC should be the graphics card. So if you have any other ratio and you're looking at a game, you're trying to build a gaming PC, you have some revision to do with your part list. Okay? So basically a gaming PC is the biggest graphics card you can afford with the minimum you can get away with everything else, okay? And that means even if there's a slight bottleneck, you'd still go for the bigger graphics card than upgrading your CPU. You know, if you were looking at it and, you know, you could either spend the rest of your budget on an upgraded graphics card or an upgraded CPU, you would do the upgraded graphics card every day of the week. Okay? And that's just you know, that's just simple, and that's just based on the reality. You're going to get more performance out of it, even if you know, you've read reports that, oh, that the graphics card I'm going to upgrade to, they say that it's slightly bottlenecked with this CPU. Don't worry about that, because the difference between like the bottleneck amount is still, you're still net ahead with the upgraded graphics card versus the upgraded CPU. And that's pretty much a general rule across the board. So whenever you have a gaming PC, you skimp out on the motherboard, potentially skimp out on the RAM and CPU. Not ideal, but if you have to, you do. And you'd skimp out on pretty much every other part of the PC, except for the graphics card, because if you put the biggest graphics card you can in the system, you get the most performance, even if there's a slight bottleneck. Don't worry about slight bottlenecks. There's always a bottleneck, okay? Yeah, well, I mean, look at this. We're pretty much at the limit to what this case can actually hold in terms of the graphics card. But, you know, having said all that, that's why I'm saying that we're moving into an era where we're going to see more water-cooled cards. It's going to become more common. And so whether that means there'll be way more AIO cooler cards, I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But I think that custom's going to get a little bit more popular. There's a bit of growth to be had in custom over the next 5 years, just based on what I've seen over the last 2-3 years. I'm just going to chuck this extra fan up here quickly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, external's always sort of been sitting there on the periphery. But yeah, I mean, I think water-cooled. I think water-cooled is the way, because I think that external cards is kind of an inelegant solution, if you know what I'm saying. Like, no one wants to buy a PC and then buy another box, 2 boxes. That would annoy the shit out of so many people. I could just hear customers now. Why is there 2 boxes? There's a monitor, a box, and another box. Why? You can just imagine, and people like me struggling to explain it to the customers. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. But like I said, it's always a trade-off. It's always a trade-off. It's about how much raw performance are you going to get, even if it's bottlenecked a little bit. I pretty much guarantee that decision to upgrade the graphics card and not upgrade the CPU is going to be better than upgrading the CPU and keeping your graphics card the same. It's pretty much a no-brainer. The thing is, people don't usually think like that at first. That's why I'll always recommend people upgrade their graphics card over their CPU. The only time I'd be like, oh yeah, you probably need a CPU upgrade, is if, you know, you already had a decent graphics card and you were running with, like, you know, a 5-6 year old CPU or more, probably even more, really. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Alrighty, so some people have been freaking out about these 16-pin connectors, the new ones. People have been freaking out about the adapter cables and stuff. So a little bit of a follow-up on that. What was happening, it's not that the cables were bent and stuff like that. It's a conductive cable. You know, it doesn't give a shit if it's bent. What it cares about is the pins not making good contact. Now, what happens is if the pins don't make good contact, it creates like an electric sort of discharge between where the pin should be and where it's sitting slightly out. And what that does is that allows heat to get released into the environment around it, and then they overheat, then they can start to like smoke and stuff like that. So what was happening was people were plugging this in and they weren't clipping it in at the bottom there. There's a clip at the bottom. They didn't have it clipped in the whole way, and then it just sort of started to make its way out of the socket a little bit. Then some of them started smoking. However, you've got to consider that it was only a very, very small percentage of people who had that problem. It was like 50 people worldwide. So it's not like a fucking batch issue or something like that. Because if it's a batch issue, yeah, you have more than 50 people. Trust me. Yep. And that's exactly it. Like that is why sometimes, you know, just upgrading a graphics card, that's the cheapest extra gaming performance that you can get. Whether, oh no, it will be bottlenecked a little bit, that doesn't matter. It's still way better gaming performance than you keeping your old GTX 1060 or something like that, and then putting a Ryzen 5600X with a new motherboard and everything. That's not gonna, with your 1060, you're not gonna be ahead. You'll have spent that extra money, and yes, you'll have a better motherboard, better CPU. Yeah, that's great, awesome. But you're still stuck with that 1060. There's only so much that upgraded CPU can do with that 1060. Now, if you left your CPU as is and put in a 3060 Ti, for example, maybe there'd be a slight bottleneck. Maybe there would be in some games. But you're still overall going to be so far ahead of that 1060, even with that older CPU, with the 3060 Ti. So that's why you might have seen me, like, people ask about bottlenecks and I kind of like chuckle to myself. That's why. Because, you know, other than the person who's spending like the absolute maximum that they can on a gaming PC, everyone's got to have a little bit of a bottleneck somewhere. I'm all about building a balanced system that's got good price performance. I don't really care about bottleneck percentages and stuff like that. If you pair a modern CPU with a modern graphics card, there's limited bottleneck. Yeah. The hole in the top on this graphics card. No, so I mean, if you get a water block on a graphics card, you can do that. I've done one for a customer where like that I've done live. But yeah, that was when I only bought the back half of the water block. Each shoe sold separate. Anyway, we've got one rig here, so let's go and see if it works. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what I recommend to people with, like, you know, a laptop or something like that. Upgrade the SSD, upgrade the memory, breathe some new life into it. But yeah, if you're gaming, most probably the best thing for you to spend extra money on is the graphics card. And then if the rest of your system dies eventually, oh well, you got a relatively new graphics card that can go into your new build at the point where it fails, and you can get the new motherboard, CPU, and RAM. And then you'll notice that when in your games, yeah, you'll get a few percent more performance and stuff like that. Yay! But it's not going to be like the difference between a 1060 and a 3060 Ti. Yeah, it's about 4K, and we've got a power supply with 10-year warranty, SSD and cooler with 5-year warranty, and everything else has a 3-year warranty. Just give it a second. Can we get a BIOS? Fans is flashing. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so let's update BIOS here. Yeah. What's up? No, hell no. No. No, any modern CPU is fine with any modern graphics card. Any bottlenecking is single digit percentages. So you're talking like a frame or two difference. Like I said, bottlenecking is something that applies when you've got a really old system and you try and plug new stuff into that old system. It's not something that comes up when you pair modern CPUs and modern graphics cards. Like the Ryzen 7 5700X doesn't get you any more gaming performance than the Ryzen 5 5600X. That's how it goes, and the 12600K gets you pretty much the same performance as the 12700K. That's just how it goes. I'm tired. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy with this. It's such a monster of a card, eh? The triple slots. What was that, sorry? spot on.
Explanation that I'm going for the 4070 Ti and my 5700X.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, any bottlenecking there would be absolutely minimal. Okay. You're getting, as far as from a price performance perspective, you upgrading the graphics card is the cheapest extra performance that you can get. The most extra performance at the cheapest possible price. That's all I really care about. I don't care whether it's, you know, this many percent bottlenecked or that many percent bottlenecked compared to like a, you know, $1,000 CPU. I don't care. I do not care. I care about, from that person's current build, how much do they have to spend to get how much extra performance. Whatever's the cheapest way to extra performance, that's what I'm going to recommend to the customer, because that's what makes sense.
Look at Smoky Moose today.
15% off?
It's too late now.
Oh.
You know there was Smoky Moose.
I'd go to Smoky Moo, but I'm heavier than I ever have been. Like, I know I'm tall and shit like that, but I've never been over 100 kilos. But that's what happens. You just keep going through life, and then at some stage in your 30s, you just start putting on weight. You used to be able to just eat whatever the fuck you wanted, whenever the fuck you wanted. And you never gained any weight. And now you're getting older, and now you start gaining fucking weight. That's what happens. Mm-hmm. But part of the reason why I've gained a bit of weight is because of the quitting smoking. That'll do it. But I think I'd rather be like slightly overweight than still smoking cigarettes. I think being slightly overweight and not smoking is healthier than being perfect weight and smoking. If that makes sense. Alrighty. Yeah.
It's 11 past 9.
Yes.
This country is you built to your cinema, not X build with 4080.
Not yet. This is 7900 non-X with a 4080. So this is the first time I've used the CPU. Yeah, so PayPal, there's fees for PayPal, unfortunately. PayPal don't miss you, and they don't care about the nature of my business and the fact that, you know, compared to like a small shop that sells, I don't know, like groceries, where the average person spends like maybe $50 or something like that. They don't take into consideration that the average person at my business spends like $3,000, right? And they're not willing to give me any different percentage rate on that. So unfortunately, I have to pass on pretty much the full transaction fee that PayPal charges me direct to the customers. And it's the same with Zip. You got to pay the transaction fee for Zip because they won't give me a better rate that makes sense for my business. They just give me the main generic thing that they have, and that's all they'll offer me. So unfortunately, I have to put their services behind a bit of a transaction fee. I'm not really sorry because they don't care about me. I don't care about them. Yeah, so the best way is send me a message on Facebook. We can have a bit of a chat and go through the specs, make sure everything's exactly what you want. And then if you're happy, send me your email address. I'll send you through an invoice. Yeah, we go from there. I try to run with like a 96-hour turnaround on new PCs. What's that?
George wants to know why is asking questions into email.
Why is who? SpongeBob.
Asking questions into the email. I don't know. Some people do that. Jamie says, I can't believe Sydney and Brisbane time difference. We're on the same coastline.
Oh, I know. Like, yeah, it's really strange. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is though, there is demonstrable harm that daylight saving causes. And you might scoff at me if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, but like the week that daylight saving comes into effect, there's a statistically significant rise in the number of traffic accidents on the road and other sorts of workplace related accidents associated with people getting up that 1 hour earlier. And I would say that in this day and age, we got to rethink what we're doing, because does it really make sense to have daylight saving in 2023? We live in a 24-hour world where the shops are like always open. You know, we're not living by the sun anymore. It's not like we can't afford lighting at night to have a life and do things at night. We can still do that. I just feel like if it's actually doing a little bit of harm, even if it's just a little bit, like those increases in car crashes, that could be a couple of people, you know, who end up suffering from like a lifelong injury as a result of a car crash. Do their life quality not matter? I would say maybe we need to think it again, rethink it. But that's I'm probably like 30 years ahead of the time with that. I'd say that people will would vehemently oppose me for that. But hey, I'm from Queensland. I'm from Brisbane. So what do you expect? What's up? Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, I saw there was a thing in America by John Oliver. Now, American talk shows are a little bit hit and miss if you're from the UK or Australia or New Zealand. However, John Oliver is a POM, okay, and his sense of humour is much more aligned with our humour here in other parts of the West. So if you think of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver is like some American talk show, it's not really like that at all. Yes, he talks about American politics, but oh man, it's a lot funnier. It's like Jimmy Kimmel's another one who sort of caters his monologues more to an international audience, and it's really weird because I'll piss myself laughing at a point that at a joke he makes. The whole studio audience doesn't get it. It's so strange. I'm like, wow, that just went over everyone's head. And it's like the main joke. Oh yes, they're little puppies, all right.
Please take them. Please somebody take them.
Yes. Come and grab some dogs. I'll do you a deal. Like free dogs potentially.
Huh?
Free dogs.
Buy a PC, get a dog too.
A buy one, get one free deal. We ship a PC to a person, and then there's like a dog inside the box. No, not funny. No dogs inside the box.
I just want to lay down. Cat laying on the that'll do the job. Just got my first PC, 2016 i5.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with 2060. It's definitely gets the job done.
Oh. Keep being annoying. You don't look very comfortable. Have you seen the way he's laying on you?
Yeah, but he's weird. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, what am I doing? No intel.
And then this was a portable NVMe folder available somehow. This is so useful for installing new builds.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love my portable NVMe enclosure. It's very good because, you know, I can plug like a 2 terabyte drive in there even if I wanted to, and I could have like basically everything that I would ever need on that one drive. Alright, coming along. And we certainly won't have any problems with the speed of it.
Yeah, I thought that too, George.
What's that?
There's a lot of how he deletes his comments. What a joke. Should I just ban this person?
No, just leave him. It's probably some kid.
responding. Tell him George to take his problem to. Go to bed.
Okay, so that should be...
George wants me to bed.
That should be all good.
Oh my god. It's just stupid.
Yeah, don't be too rude. Don't be too rude to people in the comments, or yeah, you will get muted.
I can put you in timeout. Time out. Nicholas says good morning.
Hey Nicholas, how you going? Good to have you with us. He's over in the United States of America, I believe.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. United States.
America.
America, fuck yeah. Everyone all around the West knows that joke. We all know that joke. Yeah.
Thank you.
What are you talking about? Yeah, the corporations, man, they're gonna put a tracking chip on everyone. What are you saying? If the US government wants to stick a tracking device up your ass, you say thank you and God bless America. Red's so easy. Yes, everyone's favorite show, That 70s Show.
And if it's not, well, you need to go away.
We love it. We love it too. We love it too in Australia. So it's all good. We totally get things.
SpongeBob says it's 4:25 where it is.
4:25. So is that AM?
PM.
PM.
It says God bless Australia.
God bless Australia.
Oh God, no.
No, it's yeah.
It's just a quote from a TV show.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Just look up Red Foreman, God bless America, and have a laugh. Yes. Okay, so we should be good for a restart now. And while that's doing that, let me rewire our RGB.
Doing some disco shit.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob says, oh, we're supposed to sit up beside you. Don't quite understand. I don't fully understand. Maybe he's feeling sick too. That's why he's not asking for second dinner and he's just laying on me. He didn't even eat his first dinner.
Possibly.
I gave his food to the dogs. Jesus. Check this out too.
Yeah.
It's west of Mount Isa. 260 kilometres west of Mount Isa.
Oh, fuck.
Literally got water lapping at the door. It's fucked. Oh, okay, yep. It's just over the Northern Territory border.
Oh shit.
3 days ago they had 300.
Yeah, all through the Barclays all screwed at the moment.
Yeah. In 48 hours they received 324 millimetres of rain. That's a lot of fucking water.
That is a lot of water.
And it's really flat land out there.
Yeah,
so
it's
it just sits there.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah,
it evaporates.
flows into Channel Country.
Yeah. Jeepers. George has the day off tomorrow. It's a public holiday in Melbourne. It's Labor Day.
Oh, true.
What? That's gotta be. That's funny as. Fucking Musk wants to build his own town in Texas for his company and have people working there.
Oh, Tesla Town. Oh, God. Musk wants to make his own town. Jesus Christ. Oh, Musk.
Company town where people live and work for him. Fucking hell.
A new hardcore town. New hardcore town where people work long hours with high intensity. I think that's what he said. Jeez, how come so many people wanted to quit? They must just be lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy non-workers wanting to work from home. How dare they? Don't they know that corporations can, really control people if they come into work every day? And they control them less if they're at home? We want more control. You know, Musk is any shred of respect that I had for Musk completely evaporated.
Poor Puppo. Move over Red Dog and Pilgrim is a new one to pop. Shani managed to avoid more than 100,000 tons of iron ore after being stuck in a dumpster bin. Fucking hell. It's 5 days. Poor little dude.
Okay, that's a bit of a pain in the ass, isn't it? Okay, so I'm having a bit of weird problems with our RGB. So I think it's because we've got these two devices connected like this. I think we've got some sort of a voltage discrepancy somewhere. Is that the RGB on the front of the case, babe? The light, the
Yeah.
strips. Yep. And then we get a problem as soon as we try and plug into. Okay. So, that's just not going to work any other way. We don't have any other RGB headers. We've just got a 12 volt and one 5 volt. There's nothing I've missed. No, it's definitely it. Okay, so I wonder if...
Gecko flight on the glass.
Okay.
Can't make my fucking arm goes.
You have far too much empathy for the cat. He sits around all day and sleeps. He has your dream life. He has no cares in the world.
He just lays around, pays no fucking rent.
Yeah, no
Falls
rent.
out of house
Yep.
recently bought him a Pikachu and now he won't eat it.
Yep. Yep, all that shit. Oh, look at that. That looks nice. I like those cables.
I like the white in the middle and then the
Okay. So we're going to try and fix this RGB problem.
That's pretty cool. EK's launched a the only 11 DXL block distro plate,
Oh, yep.
and it's got a it's, what is it? IPS screen on it as well. See?
IPS screen on it as well.
Yeah. See?
God damn it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is what you're working on then,
I am rewiring our RGB because I've got a weird error with one of the fans, and I think it can be, I think it's got to do with how much RGB I have chained up through the one circuit.
He says you're living the dream.
Living the dream.
He wants to know, have you heard of Tiny 11 or Update Mini Tool?
Tiny 11 Update Mini Tool.
Or Update Mini Tool.
All Update Mini Tool. I don't think I have.
Oh, okay. It's a lightweight Windows 11 installer. Tiny 11 was released in this tool allows you to install Windows 11 on old and lower end PCs.
Ah, yes, I've heard of it. I haven't used it. I haven't used it personally. But yes, I knew there was something out for that. But yeah, I can't give you my opinion on it because I haven't actually used it personally, so.
Dean says if you want more context, I'm happy to explain. You go ahead.
Alrighty, how's that RGB looking now?
Oh, I can see it.
Is there any flicker?
No.
No flicker?
No.
Excellent.
Now it's all flickering.
Yeah, but it's just residual. Oh, I've got a couple of bolts I'm going to put back. Okay. So the cooler has the fans and the RGB through their own little controller, and it is daisy chainable. However, it causes problems with other fans on the chain when it's plugged in at the end of other devices. So you have to have the RGB controller that comes with the cooler hooked up to the RGB header in the first position. If not, you'll have problems with the others. So that's why the fan was flickering there.
I want this hat.
So it's just got to do with how the voltage moves through the cable, and having, even though it's because the controller that comes with the cooler is a powered controller, and that's causing an issue with the daisy chainable. I think it's mainly just when it's on white, because white uses the most power because it's maximum blue, maximum red, maximum green, and together all of those colors make white light. There we go. Bloody hell. That was a pain, wasn't it? It's still flicking a little bit.
Yeah. That's strange. Shit fan. Shit connector of sorts, maybe. Now the other two are off and the bottom one's on. What'd you do to it?
I didn't do anything to it. It's better than it was. Okay, well, let's keep moving. So, we've got a new CPU, so let's have a look at it in CPU ID. No, this is just a Silverstone case. So one of these fans at the front will just be a standard Silverstone.
Bad header?
I don't think so. I think this is a problem with the actual LEDs inside the fan there. And the reason I say that is this bottom fan is the first one in the chain of these three. So these two on top are actually powered through that one on the bottom that's flashing. So yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something to do with the actual LEDs, between the power and the actual LEDs in the fan. The rest of the circuit, like the header itself on the cable, is still powering everything else. So the cooler's plugged in first directly to the motherboard, then it's this fan, then these two are plugged in to that fan. So should be fine. We should have plenty of power even if we didn't have a powered controller on it. Okay, so let's see what she's got. $764, $766. Submit and compare how much heat comes off it at stock. Basically no heat at all. We could like, it's only drawing 90 watts. You could totally overclock this CPU and get some more room out of it. So you could go up to 95 degrees there on the CPU. So there's plenty of headroom. Only using 90 watt there, so that could probably use 180 watts. Realistically, we could push a lot more power through it. Okay, so we are over here on at CPU-Z, so valid.x86 here. So we can go over and have a look at its position. So as we can see there, it's roughly in line with our 12700 KF. And it's basically the same as the Ryzen 7950X. So like this is what I've noticed about it. It's cheaper and it's basically the same as the 7950X. So I was like, yeah, I'll definitely recommend this to a customer. It's a pretty good value proposition for what it was. They wanted an AMD Ryzen 9, and yeah, we're getting a really good one here for the price. Okay, and there we can see the 7900X. It's getting higher results there, but we could overclock this and probably beat the 13700K if we wanted to, considering how low that it's running. But you know, I'm not going to bother with that. It's a multi-thread score, not a single. I wouldn't worry too much about it. So as you can see there, it's a bit of a step up from, you know, your 3rd gen Ryzen. It's a bit of a step up from some of these i9 and i7 laptops. It's the HXs there.
Yeah, it normally happens around this time of night. George says everyone's been something.
Yep.
Diesel, sorry, just throwing ideas for me and Mason live.
That's alright.
That's alright.
That's alright. And yeah, basically pretty much in line with a 5950X at multi-core. And so that's with less cores and threads. So a good performing chip there overall.
This is a very good CPU.
Yeah, excellent CPU. Not going to have any problems with it at all. It's just a bloody pain in the ass about that fan there. That might stop this getting shipped off tomorrow. Quite possibly. Okay. Why is our time going back? Alrighty, well let's run some gaming benchmarks on it. So that number there below RAM, that's our frames per second. We had GPU temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage, VRAM usage and clock speed. We've got our CPU utilization and our RAM. Look at that frame rate. 600 frames a second in the opening scene. I won't even tie up those cables because that fan's got to get swapped out. And so yeah, that right there, CPU usage 7%, 8%. That's what absolutely no bottleneck looks like. It's barely trying. The GPU's not even getting up to 100% utilization because it's just finding this benchmark too easy. Makes a bit of a mockery of heaven. It's like, is heaven become obsolete, finally? 703 frames a second. I feel like it sort of has. Alrighty, so I'm going to chuck heaps of little extras in for Chris in the bag, including like the Intel bracket for the cooler, the Intel pins. You have this custom plate if you want. Some SATA cables. So most of this stuff in this bag you won't need. You just need your power cable basically. So don't freak out. This is just other stuff that comes with your motherboard. Ugh. I think so. Yeah, like I said, 4080 and 4090 is basically, you run everything on max kind of cards. You don't even have to worry about the frames per second because it's going to run everything great. What's that? That would screw. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, we'll have to do something about that fan there. Alrighty, so superposition, 4K. Let's give it a whirl.
On your third year as Tim's PC, eh?
Yeah, kind of. Second year of Tim's PC full time. Oi.
Little puppies. Woof, woof, woof.
Small dogs.
Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Small dogs.
Seriously, if you want a puppy, there's 6 of them that you can choose from. Well, 5. I'm kidding you. Now, oh, cat, you're gonna have to move, eh? Huh? Oh. I was like, why won't that come off? Don't turn it off, mate. Oh, no, okay. Where's the black one? Now. Gimme, you're an asshole. The one who knows his name. You just bit her on the nose. That's not very nice. Now, you didn't eat your other dinner. I don't trust you.
Alrighty, so that was superposition there. Okay, so we are ready for the final part of our night where we do the stress test. And so we'll set this up for a 90-minute run. Alrighty, so we got our 24 blue boxes over here and 24 blue boxes over here in Task Manager. And so that's what our 24 blue boxes are working on, calculating out this image. And our 4080 is hard at work rendering this furry donut. So this is just designed to start to generate a bit of heat, make sure everything's running great inside the system, and if everything's all good, we'll be able to ship this one off. But we will have to do something about that flickery fan.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying.
Yes, very annoying.
What else is the one? Lucky now.
Oh, sweet.
When did you get that?
I just purified it. It's a little bit less purified. Alrighty. Yeah. Well, you'll have to do a live stream where you build a PC and I moderate.
That might be interesting.
Hmm. What's up? Any other final questions before we finish up? No, we're all good.
Michelle's says this is her hobby's build.
Ah, cool.
I'm starting to get a bit jealous. You can just steal it off him.
Yeah, just requisition it. It's all good.
Be like, oh, thanks, babe. You bought me a new PC. How did you know?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent says I don't even have a GPU because I'm running the onboard graphics.
Oh, yep. I mean, there's some pretty good performance that you can get with onboard graphics these days with like a Ryzen 5600G.
It's got
11700K. Oh, yeah, the onboard's not as good on that. Yeah, 5600G, that's pretty much the best you can get at the moment. They're awesome for what they are. Alrighty.
Saving up to get a graphics card.
Yep.
He's going to get the 1660 Ti, but he really wants the 3060 Ti.
Yeah, if you can get the 3060 Ti. Have a look at if you want to get one cheap. Have a look at X mining cards. Okay? So it's a little bit risky, but statistically you should be able to find something that's decent. Now it'll probably run a little bit hotter and it, you know, might not last you for 3 years, but you know it's going to be decent, and that'll like take half the price off it for you, because crypto mining's pretty much dead now.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't think it's going to come back in the same way that it was during COVID. That was just insane. All these people in Australia and they don't understand the economics of it and stuff, and it's like, dude, you're paying premium for the graphics card and you're paying premium for electricity, because this is Australia, we don't have cheap electricity. It's like, yeah, the economics don't stack up, bro. And sure enough. Alrighty, well, I think that might be where we leave it for tonight, because this gets pretty boring. I want to go get some dinner. So, yeah. You want to go back to full screen?
Well, that's a bit bright.
Yes. And so if you stare at the bottom fan for long enough, you'll see it start to flicker a little bit. It's a little bit annoying. What the hell was that?
Just knocked my book and a plate onto the floor.
Oh, fucking hell.
Did that actually scare you?
Well, not the noise of it, the concept of it scared me. I was like, what have we broken now? What's broken? That was what scared me. So I didn't get scared from the sound. I got scared from the idea of it. Alrighty. Well, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And tomorrow is another special one. So tomorrow is customer number or invoice number 700. So lucky 7 tomorrow. Lucky 700 tomorrow. So it's a little bit of a milestone. I think it's about It's roughly 500 PCs since I started doing this with a Facebook page and all that.
Says most Aussies are special, and this is special.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
It's all good.
Anyway.
Alrighty, so yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all tomorrow in the next video.